Warriors Fast Break on HBC TV 25 is brought to you by El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina. Their happy hour is Sundays through Thursdays, 3 to 7 p.m. Check out our Facebook page for details. Authentic and delicious El Patron. And welcome to Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barriento. It's time to talk Warrior men's basketball. The head coach, Todd Eisner. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely.
And let's talk first about the weekend games. This past weekend, Wide World of Sports used to say it was the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. That might be over the top for this. But you did have a very exciting game against Minnesota Duluth. Go into overtime and get a win over the Bulldogs.
Yeah, we were kind of an up and down game. We started out strong like we seem to do almost every game, and Duluth battled back, close game at halftime. Then we kind of extended the lead in the second half. I think got up 11, and they hit a couple threes on back-to-back possessions to get kind of jumped back in the game, and we kind of lost our way, and we were down 3 late and rallied, and Isaiah made a layup at the buzzer to send us to overtime, and then Tommy Getke kind of took over and got us on the road with a W.
And again, it's the explosion of Tommy Getke here in the second half of the season. 28 points, a career high for him. So he's just been doing great in extra minutes that he's gotten.
Yeah, he's really played very well the last 4 weekends, and starting kind of with the Upper Iowa weekend, and has really extended his production on a game-by-game basis. And so really pleased with the way he's playing. Was big for us on that night. Him and Isaiah both contributed, I think, combined for 50 points in that game. And Tommy just continues to get better and better and continues to work on his game, so we're really pleased with where he's at.
Shot 50% from the field. You win the rebound battle. Turnovers only at 11. So overall, how pleased were you with the game against Minnesota?
Well, I think one of the other stats that sticks out is we went to the line 27 times, which is like triple our normal production, which is sad, but that was another thing. We were 20 of 27 from the free throw line. So, Tommy obviously played very well. It was anytime you win on the road is a good win, and we're not going to, with the way we're playing inconsistently right now, we're not going to give any of the wins back, that's for sure.
Well, I'll use the word you said, inconsistent. Go to St. Cloud and you lose that one 88-65. What were the main factors in that one?
Well, it was over early. We called timeout, I think, with 18:37 to go in the first half, down 6-0. We really didn't put up any resistance at all on the defensive end of the floor. Scarily enough, we were really sloppy on the offensive end. We had 11 turnovers at halftime. And, we shot 52% in the first half, had 11 turnovers. We were down 24, 25 points at half, shooting 52%. We were really loose with the ball, gave away too many possessions, and then we didn't guard them at all. So anytime you give up 49 points in a half, you're probably looking at a deficit. We had a big deficit. Guys battled back a little bit in the second half, but it really was a difficult night for us.
In reading the wrap-up of the St. Cloud State game, it seemed like you had some scoring droughts again quite a few times during the game. Have you ever seen that in your coaching career where you've had this many scoring droughts during the season?
Well, one of the things where we're struggling with in terms of just our day-to-day game plan is, it seems like every team that we play against has a guy that they can go to and, run something for and get a basket, get a field goal attempt, get to the free throw line. We're really struggling to find kind of a go-to scorer for us, and we're really inconsistent as to who's going to be there for us on a night-to-night basis. I've got to do a better job of putting our guys in position to be successful. I think we're a year and a half into what we're doing and how what we're running on the offensive end of the floor, and I've been really frustrated and disappointed with our point production. Obviously, anytime you're going to score 71 to 75 points a game, it's going to make the game difficult if we're not going to defend. Mm-hmm. Last year we defended, gave ourselves a chance. This year we're not defending at a very high level, and it makes it really difficult when on both ends of the floor you're not producing at the right level.
All right, let's try to paint a broader picture here and kind of get your state of the team at this point of the season. I know you had some injuries during the first part of the season. You had the sickness come in. And now you have some more injuries. Charlie Kuntz, is he out for the season?
He's done, yeah. He tried to play the weekend of Southwest and Sioux Falls and really struggled. The hips really giving him a lot of trouble, and tried to practice, I think, the Monday after that and couldn't even function, really. So we're going to shut him down. He's going to have surgery. He's scheduled for February 3, I think, but he's also on kind of a cancellation list to try to get in as soon as possible, but no later than February 3, so he'll be done. They're hoping, no more than 4 months in terms of rehab, which if, we're fortunate with that, we can at least get him back doing some things late summer and put him in a position to be in a better spot conditioning-wise, skill-wise as we move into next year. Kyle's still struggling with the ankle, and we hope that it continues to get better and we can kind of see the old Kyle Bauman, but right now it's been a difficult spot for him. He's used to being a very important piece of what we're doing, and Tommy's kind of filled that role, but yet we'd love to have both of them out there at the same time. Josh came down with pink eye today. I mean, it's just one thing after another. So he missed practice today, but we certainly feel like we'll have him back tomorrow and into the weekend. And so it's just something. It's just one of those years where we've got to figure out a way to cope with a little adversity.
You talked about Kyle Bauman. He had 18 minutes, I think, played in the Minnesota Duluth game, and I think 13 in the St. Cloud game. Still 12 points in St. Cloud, so I mean, he's giving it everything that he's got out there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'd love to have Kyle back, playing at 100%, whether or not we get that before the end of the year. But Kyle's certainly got a great passion for what we're trying to do, and I know he's going to do everything he can to give himself the best chance to play each and every day. And certainly with about 5 weeks to go in the regular season, I know he wants to try to make an impact, a really positive impact in what we're going to do moving forward.
All right, 10 games left in the season. What do you want to see from your team in these last 10 games?
Well, the big thing is, I'd love to kind of reestablish our identity, and I'm just not sure that that's something that, is in the DNA of this group. I mean, we want to be a team and have a culture and a program that's based on a toughness level and an energy level and an intensity level on the defensive end of the floor. And, teams are shooting 39% in league play from the three against us, and that's what our goal is to hold teams to 40% overall. And yet, so we're really getting hurt at the three-point line on the perimeter, and we've got some limited numbers, but we're also not playing at the level I expect us to play. So if we move forward toward the end of the year, obviously as we get into late February, early March, it's the most important time of the year. If we're playing good basketball, then a lot of things can change before we get into tournament play. So it's a big 4-game homestand. We got a big one with Wayne State, obviously Friday night, and we got to take care of that one, and then see what we can do on the next day.
All right, last minute or so, you talked about Wayne State and Augustana, those games coming up. How do you match up against those two teams?
Well, Wayne State's playing really small, so it's not ideal for Tommy and Kyle when they're out on the floor. They play with a new coach, new system, playing extremely hard, play with a really good toughness level. I mean, it's something obviously I appreciate watching on film. Kendall Jack's a really good player, missed all of last year, been their leading scorer, got a couple of really good guards in Matt Thomas and Vance Jansen, and then obviously we get through Friday night, we've got to play the defending national champions who obviously haven't been as good as last year, but last year they were incredible. Still a very, very good basketball team. Jordan Spencer at the point guard, Adam Byer at the wing. They got Mike Busak transferred over from Mankato, who's been their leading scorer. So they're very, very dangerous, very, very talented, still a very, very good basketball team.
All right, well, thanks for coming in this week, and good luck this weekend.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a break here on Warriors Fast Break, and when we come back, we'll talk women's basketball with head coach Scott Ballard. That's right after this.
Hit the hardwood for college hoops on BTN. Don't miss a moment of the excitement.
Oh my goodness, yes sir! Are you kidding me?
When your team takes the floor all season long.
What a spectacular play! Strong to the rim! They're fun. They're just fun.
Big Ten basketball all season long on BTN and BTN to go.
Join me, Justin Barrientos, your host for Warriors Fast Break on HBC TV 25, brought to you by El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina. Each week I sit down with Warrior men's basketball head coach Todd Eisner and women's head coach Scott Ballard as they talk about game results, upcoming games, and interviews with players, giving you an inside look at Warrior basketball. New shows debut Wednesdays at 4:30 p.m. with replays Tuesday through Saturday at 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. and before Warrior home games on HBC TV 25. Brought to you by El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina. Warriors Fast Break on HBC TV 25 is brought to you by El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina. They have the best Mexican food in town. Authentic and delicious El Patron. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thanks for joining us. And here to talk women's basketball head coach Scott Ballard. Thanks for joining us again
Thanks
today.
for having me.
You made your way in even through the winter storms.
Yeah, we come sliding in.
Yeah. Let's talk about the games that happened this weekend. First, talk about Minnesota Duluth. You had 4 players that scored in double figures in that game. Really big team effort in it. Talk about how things went in that game.
Well, Duluth, they jumped on us early. I think they hit us down 17-8. They hit some three-point shots to start the game. And kind of a trend that we've had lately is getting off to a slow start and then getting better as the game progresses. At both ends of the floor. Defensively, we got better as the game went along, and offensively, we got better. We got good production from our bench. Both games this weekend, we had different people get really quick fouls at the start of the game. Kayla Timmerman, our guest today, first possession, we get the jump ball, we go down. We ran a play for her, and she gets called for an offensive foul, and that's 10 seconds to the game. And so she sets the rest of the first quarter. And then the next day against St. Cloud, Jenny Tuttle played 5 minutes the first 3 quarters because of just quick fouls at the beginning of each quarter. So we had to overcome some adversity and get good minutes from our bench. And so I'm proud of our group for overcoming adversity, being on the road, foul trouble, slow start offensively. But we kept our composure and gained confidence as the game went along. And once we got ourselves in position to win the game in the last 2 or 3 minutes with the lead and the ball, we were smart with it. We took care of the basketball. We made plays. We made free throws and really locked up defensively the last 2 or 3 minutes and did not allow either team to basically score in the late stages of the game.
I want to ask you, and I'm sure I probably asked you this before, but it kind of seems pertinent now too, since we've kind of been having the same kind of theme all season. From an outsider standpoint, it seems like when you get to halftime, you're not afraid to maybe change the game plan a little bit, change things up the way that things have been going in the first half in order to make second half adjustments. What are some of the things that you're looking at during a game that you tend to change for the second half, whether you're trailing, leading, or you're close, whatever it is?
Well, two things that happen on a regular basis that make it appear that we've made a lot of adjustments or we're getting better as the game goes along. The first half, we're protecting people from foul trouble. So as soon as a starter, not just a starter, but as soon as somebody gets a foul in the first quarter, they're waiting until the second quarter to play. They get their second foul in the second quarter, they're waiting until the third quarter to play. So then we protect, your key people from foul trouble in the first half, and then the second half, they have an extra foul to work with. The other thing is, in the first half, we start recognizing what their defensive scheme or plan is. Who are they trying to take away? Are they trying to double at the low post? How are they defending ball screens? And we just take that information and things that we've tried against it in the first half, and then we make adjustments and narrow down the number of things that we're going to run in the second half that seem to work.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about adjustments, because in the notes that I have from the Minnesota-Duluth game, it said that you went like 2.5 minutes without a score. I don't know if that's second quarter or third quarter. And how do you get over droughts like that, and what are some things you do for that?
Actually, a 2.5 minute drought is not bad.
Right.
You're talking 3 possessions, but we've had several games this year where we go 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes without scoring, and that's dangerous. The two things that you want to avoid: one, you want to avoid a 4 or 5 plus minute scoring drought, and then the other thing is you want to avoid big runs by the other team. And so usually the two things that contribute to that would be turnovers, forced shots, and then not rebounding. Well, we've been pretty consistent rebounding wise. We've had a few games here and there where we allowed too many offensive rebounds, but both games this past weekend, we had more turnovers than our opponents, and that's something that we told our group that's a dangerous formula to try to win, especially on the road. But what we did well to counter that was our shooting percentage was much higher than our opponents. We got to the free throw line more than our opponents, and we out-rebounded both of our opponents. So, we tell our group, the last 2 weekends, is that if we defend, we rebound, and we take care of the basketball, we're probably going to have a good chance to win. But if you only win one of those 3 categories, you're making life really difficult to put yourself in that position to win. So we've got to do a better job taking care of the basketball on a consistent basis. We've had games where we only had 6 or 7 turnovers, and then we've had games we had 20 against St. Cloud, and now we have Augie and Wayne coming in this next weekend, and Augie's notorious for pressing and turning you over and scoring points off your turnovers. So that just makes it that much more important and critical to take care of the basketball.
All right, kind of going off what you said then, against St. Cloud, You trailed 12-2 early on in that game, and then you're able to come back and able to get the victory. Again, how do you try to keep the team from falling apart in the first half?
Well, we had to be really creative in St. Cloud game because we didn't have our point guard. For 25 minutes that game, we didn't have our point guard. And Jenny Tuttle has proved, night in and night out, how important she is to us, not only as a scorer, but also as a defender, and probably more importantly, just running the offense. So, playing without her for that many minutes in the game, it was very challenging. And then, McKenna Panning's been out for 2 weeks with an injury, so we didn't have her. Maddie Werke, she does fine, filling in for McKenna, and she's growing and developing, but that's not her natural position. And then she picked up a quick foul, and then the style of the game, it was the most physical game that we've played this year. And, they were trying to, get in our space and rough us up, and they were trying to double at times at the low post, and it made it a little easier for them when we didn't have Jenny Tuttle in there. But Tara Roloff did a great job, played like a senior, took control of us offensively, and really, bailed us out from that standpoint. And then the fourth quarter, Jenny Tuttle got her fourth foul in the first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, and we decided to just leave her in there. She's not doing us any good sitting on the bench. We may get the rest of the game out of her, and she did a good job of playing smart and played the rest of the fourth quarter, and was important for us in decision making and getting the ball in the right people's hands, handling the ball the last 3 minutes of a tie game or a one possession game, and knocked down a couple free throws and helped us finish that game off.
You also had two players that had double-doubles in the game. Kayla Timmerman and Hannah McGlone both had double-doubles in that one. So talk about those players kind of helping out the offense.
Well, they're both capable of doing that every night. It just depends on foul trouble, how many minutes they play. They complement each other really well. Kayla is very efficient from the high post area, and that's her favorite scoring spot on the floor. Hannah is leading the league in field goal percentage and has just really improved her ability to finish with right hand, left hand. She has a lot of different low post moves. So they complement each other really well. And they got to play a lot of minutes together in that St. Cloud game.
All right, last question for this segment. Wayne and Augustana, you said this weekend, finally back home after a long time being on the road.
Seems like it's been a long time. Our schedule's getting tough now. We've got 5 weekends left, and 2 of them are with Augie and Wayne. We still have the Moorhead Northern trip on the road to make. Mary beat us last year. We've got them and Minot coming in here in a couple weekends. And we still have a rematch with Mankato and Concordia. So we've got 10 really tough, challenging games. And it's that time of year, though, that, if you hope to do anything in the playoffs, playing this tough competition certainly gets you ready for it. And, so we're looking forward to it. We know it's going to be very difficult, and we're going to see a lot of zone this weekend and a lot of pressure defense from Augie. But, we've got 4 days to get ready for it, and they've got to prepare for us too. So, I'm confident that we'll do a good job in preparation and play well this weekend, try to give ourselves a chance to win.
All right, we're going to take a break here on Warriors Fast Break, and when we come back, we'll get the player perspective. Kayla Timmerman joins us right after this.
We chose HBC because they're a local company. They have a big audience in Winona, which is the geographic group that we're looking for. Mel is very easy to work with. She's genuinely concerned about how our money is being spent, and she does everything she can to make sure we get the most for our money. She takes care of us. So whenever there's a problem, which is rarely, I know that I can go to her and she's going to take care of it.
To see how HBC Advertising can help your company, call Melanie at 507-474-5802.
My name is Drew Scott, and on Property Brothers, What do you do? I'm Jonathan Scott, and I do the work. I take them to houses. It's a lot of work. helps me throughout the entire process. He finds the perfect house. What Jonathan does on Property Brothers is he makes dreams come true.
This is so nice.
Property Brothers, Wednesday night at 9, only on HGTV.
Yeah, I've been working on some of my own sort of beats. Well, Zach and I have.
Well, we're not real musicians. Oh, that's it. Now I'm feeling that one. Yeah. So this is what it means to be turned, right?
Zach and John, Tiny House Nation, strolling around the country, dropping information.
Yeah. My mad skills on the saw will hit you like you got socked in the jaw.
Stop and don't do it again. Oh!
We can work with that. I think we can work with that.
Were you recording? Yeah.
Warriors Fast Break on HBC TV 25 is brought to you by El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina. They are the place to go for an express lunch, 7 days a week from 11 till 3. Authentic and delicious El Patron. Kayla Zimmerman, our guest. Thank you for joining us again.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk a little bit. You heard what Coach Ballard had to say. I kind of saw your reaction when he talked about having to take you out early in that game. Let's get your kind of rebuttal on that and your thoughts about what happened there.
You know, it was just a quick foul. I'm trying to be a little bit more physical and more of an inside presence as well. That's one thing that I've been focusing on lately. And once I finally did that and then I got counteracted with it, it was a bummer. I wasn't too happy about it. But, you know, I stayed in the game and came back and still played strong for the team as well. So.
Well, talk about staying in the game because you sit on the bench. What are some of the things that are running through your mind? Do you try to block out what happened and focus in on just kind of watching the flow of the game? Or what are some of the things you're thinking about when you're on the bench?
You just have to kind of drop the negativity in what happened and move on because, you know, you can't change the past. And you have to be focused for when you do get in the game. And you have to be mentally there and physically there as well. And if you're sitting there on the bench thinking about what happened if I didn't or if I, you know, would have done something differently, you're just kind of hurting your team that way as well because you need to be focused for the next play and be engaged.
From a coaching perspective, do you have to say anything to her? Do you assume that she already knows what the situation is?
You know, this is Kayla's third year with us, and so Kayla usually knows what I'm thinking, and so now I don't have to say as much to her as I did. You know, year number 1 or year number 2, but we tell all of our players like move on to the next play, and when you get better at that mentally, then you become a more consistent player and you're ready to go as soon as your number's called again.
All right, this might be a little bit of a weird question, but I'm going to try to phrase it as best as I can.
Okay.
Obviously, it's a team game. Personal things you try to block out, but how aware are you of maybe where you are in a game? I'm getting at this because you've been close to a triple-double in games, and I don't think that's ever been done in the history of Winona State women's basketball before. And if that actually does happen, how mentally aware are you of what your totals are during a game? Is that something that even enters your mind?
Not really.
No.
I really didn't know I was even close to a triple-double until Coach Wirtz was telling me what I needed towards the end. Now, if you ask my family and my father, he knows my stats per every single number, and he's counting there and things like that. But I don't really pay attention to that. You know, it's mostly what can I do to help the team, and whether it's having a big scoring night or just shutting down my person defensively, that's all I can really do. And, you know, it's a team game. It's not so much, you know, individual. And my goal is to, you know, better the team in the best way I can. So.
All right, coaching perspective again. I know there was the one game that she had the blocks, she had the rebounds, and she fell short on the points.
Was this last year?
I believe that was last year. And then this year, she had 7 blocks and had the points and the rebounds. Yeah. So kind of talk about that, because I think from what we were seeing, you were trying to get her to that triple-double by leaving her in at the
last
end.
year, I remember that game. I don't remember which game it was, but we were at home, and I remember, you know, I wanted to get her out of the game because we had the game won. I didn't want to take a chance on her getting hurt. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, Coach Wirtz is tugging on my shirt and let me know that she's 1 point away from a triple-double. And so we ran 2 or 3 things in a row just trying to get it to her, and I think she was, you know, kind of keyed up and trying to make the most of it, but she didn't really have any easy scoring opportunities those 2 or 3 times. But, you know, it's really unique when it happens, when it just happens and you're not trying to make it happen. Right. It just happens in the course of, you know, being a team player and your teammates getting you the ball at the right time and you being in the right spot at the right time. And so when things like that happen, it's neat when it just happens within a team concept.
All right. Well, you did talk about your family, so I want to ask about your family because our Warrior Insider kind of calls your parents super fans. Maybe your mom a little bit more than your dad. Can you talk about your family and how they cheer you on?
My parents have not missed a game from high school all the way up to college, and that's one thing I don't think many players can say. They took the drive to Minot and Mary last year when my mom had a serious sinus infection and still made the trip. I do not know what they're going to do next year without me playing, honestly. But no, they're awesome. I'm blessed in so many ways, and to have my support cast there no matter what, and my grandparents watch every single game, and so does my boyfriend and things like that. And to have that support cast is awesome. To know people that are behind you, whether good or bad game, and they call me and text me, and my parents are there, and it's awesome. For those tough games, it's great to have.
And they made the trip to Puerto Rico, or at least your mom did?
Yeah, both of them did.
Oh, both of them did.
Yep, so did my brother and sister-in-law. So yeah, they will not miss a game, and it was nice for them to have a little vacation as well. But no, they've been at everything. So I'm awesome, blessed, and it's awesome.
All right, I have to ask you a couple other questions, kind of just weird questions. You know the drill, kind of on this show. The first one would be, in the middle of the huddle before the game, you're the center.
Yep.
You're getting everybody ready to go. You just chant some things. I don't know exactly what you chant. I don't know if you know yourself what you're going to say.
Sometimes no.
Before. So what's that process like to get out there and to get the team ready for the game?
It's awesome. I just want to get everyone ready, and I get so hyped before the game, and for me to kind of let some of that out before I go and play is nice too. But no, it's awesome. I mean, to do something as a team before we start and battle, it's a great opportunity.
Okay, so that's kind of the evolution of basketball, is these pregame celebrations and rituals that happen. Can you tell from that how the team is going to be when they're in that kind of?
Not really. I mean, you get used to it. It's just part of our routine. It's part of what makes you comfortable and confident to get ready to start, competition. And I think Katie Zepsic started like 3 years ago, and Kayla's just picked up and ran with it. And when you were talking about her family and fan support, stuff like that, when we went to Puerto Rico, we had 28 friends, parents, family that made that trip with our team.
Wow.
And our Puerto Rico connection down our contact person, he told me when we got ready to leave, he said, you by far had the best fan support of any team that we've had down here.
Wow.
And so we have it is a family atmosphere among the parents, and not just the team, but their parents and friends and relatives, and it's a really neat experience.
All right, was that even more than went to California the couple years ago?
Yeah.
Boy, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Make the big
Yeah,
trip
we had
to
about
Puerto
a
Rico.
dozen in California, but at Puerto Rico, that was a really neat experience.
All right, last question that we have. We had a picture passed to us from our Warrior Insider of a Christmas gift that you received, a big stuffed bear that seems to be kind of a popular picture and topic with your team. Can you talk about that as we put that up on the screen?
Yeah, so my boyfriend, I always give him crap that I want a life-size teddy bear, and as some people have said, it's not really life-size because it's half my size because I am so tall. But yeah, that was kind of my big Christmas gift after him surprising me, and kind of a Christmas birthday. But yeah, no, it's fun to just kind of hang out with. But no, it was a nice gift. So.
Does the bear make road trips now?
No.
No, I've not seen that bear.
No.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here today,
thank you.
and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you for joining us here on Warriors Fast Break. We'll see you next time here on HBC TV 25.